Hello everyone. In today's class we're going to learn about servo motors. What are servo motors? A servo motor is a small device with an output shaft, and the specific angular positions can be controlled by the shaft by sending the coding signal to the servo. The servo maintains its position to the shaft once you see the coded signal in the output line. The servo motor consists of three wires: power, which equals red, ground, which equals brown, and signal, which equals orange. The power wire must be connected to the 5V pin on the Arduino board. The signal pin, which carries the command pulses, can be connected to any digital pin. And lastly, I'll just put the ground wire into the ground pin. A PWM, or pulse width modulation, is a technique for receiving analog results with digital means. The digital control is used to create a square wave, a signal switched between on and off. I'll explain this in the next slide. The on-off pattern can simulate voltages in between full on, 5 volts, and full off, 0 volts, by changing the portion of the time the signal spends on versus the time it spends off. Please keep in mind that the duration of the time is the pulse width. Thus, PWM is also known as the change in the duration of time. Here is the Pwm chart. I'll describe it to you guys about it. The green lines represent the regular period. The black lines and the squares indicate the duty cycle, which means the frequency that the PWM is turned on. Note that the inverse of the PWM frequency is the duration or period. Let's say that Arduino's PWM frequency is set to about 500 Hz, and the green lines would measure every 2 milliseconds. A call to this method is on a scale of 0 to 255. For instance, analog write 255 would request 100% duty cycle, meaning always on, and analog write 127 is a 50% duty cycle on half the time. This to actually give you a head start before moving on to the project. It is really important to learn this concept because the project is based on what we have learned so far. And this is the project we're going to do for this week's class: how to control the servo. All we just need for this project are micro servo, Arduino Uno, and jumper wires. We're not using a breadboard for this project. Here's a schematic of my project. To learn more, please watch how I did this. Here I have a servo motor and a black wire. Connect the black wire into the servo's ground wire, where you can see it in the left. Now, connect the whole thing from the top into the GND pin of the Arduino Uno. Next, I pick up this red pin and connect it to the middle red wire from the servo. Do the same process from the black one, except that the red one should be connected to the 5V pin. And finally, the yellow pin can be put in any digital pin. Let's say I put the yellow wire at pin 8. Here is my code, and let's go over it together. Though I highly guarantee that this can be a very difficult concept for you students, I'll go over the whole code and try my best to describe each line of code thoroughly, so it would be easier for you to understand the code I just taught you in this video. So here we have include Servo.H. Why do we have this in this code? Well, let's begin what this means. Number sign include Servo.H literally means that we include the servo library. There, we can use the methods from the servo library to control the servo. If you don't include the servo library in your code, the servo motor will not work. Please keep in mind about this, because this is very important. Anyway, we'll have to create a servo object and attach it to a digital pin, which is 9. That'll be in the next 2 lines. Next, all we have to do is to write the servo angle, which prompts the servo to position its shaft at this angle. Lastly, I told the servo to start from 0, move on 90 degrees, then wait a second and return back to a 0-degree angle, which is inside the loop function. And that's pretty much it for the code. This is the result that you should have gotten after you ran the code. Although this code is really simple, but the concept may seem difficult for some of you guys. I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.